Hey guys! So in today's video I am going to be talking about driving and your driving test and how to pass and just lots of tips, I guess. Lots of tips and tricks for your driving test basically. I did do one for my theory. I don't know whether that helped. I hope it did. But I thought I would do one for driving as I have passed my driving test. It was such a... I don't even know how to explain it. It was such a weird experience that I can't get my head around it at all. So I'm just going to explain what happened and how it was and how it all was for me and basically what happened. So it was the day of my driving test. I think it was on the 6th of July. So this is going up quite a long time after. But it was the 6th of July. It was a Thursday. And the time I had it was 11:41, I think it was. So just roughly lunchtime. And personally, before I carry on saying anything, if you're going to book a test, do not do it on a Monday or a Friday or on the weekend if they even do have it on the weekend. Try and do it between Tuesday and a Thursday, because Friday, it could be a good thing that it's busy, but then it can put more stress on you in that time and place. So try do it at a time when it's not busy, because literally every time I had lessons with my driving instructor, I always had it in the rush hour time. So every time we had a roundabout, I had to wait ages for people to go, and then when I didn't go, I could have gone, I was panicking and all sorts. But on my actual driving test, literally maybe 1 or 2 roundabouts out of, 10 roundabouts, there was literally maybe I had to stop once. That's it. I could have just gone, you know what I mean? So it was the best thing ever. So make sure, timing wise, you choose the correct time and make sure it's not a rush hour. That could be a good thing, because you could be literally waiting in a in a massive queue or cars. But again, if it comes, like I said, to roundabouts, it could stress you out and panic you, and you don't know where to go or when it's safe, and you could just have a meltdown or, But yeah, timing, yeah, that was it. Anyway, I got there. Another thing I didn't know until a week before my actual test, they asked you questions. I did not know about this. My instructor was like, go online and do these show me, tell me questions. I was like, what on earth are these? Are you just telling me things to do because, I need to, just keep my mind busy and stuff? Or are you actually being serious? Anyway, I did it. I went on YouTube. There's loads online. There's tons. The best ones that really helped me was on YouTube, because it just really explains it. And obviously you have to show them some of the things. So it, tells you and everything how they do it. Anyway, apparently I think there's 19 show me, tell me questions. Basically what they are, they can be to... they ask you questions about inside the bonnet. There's 4 questions inside the bonnet, like the oil, brake, water, and windscreen fluid stuff. Then you've got tyre, you could have the horn, you could have indicators. There's 19 of them. If you go on YouTube, make sure you do practice them, because apparently I think they can ask you 3 to 2 questions. They asked me 3. How do you know how full the tyre pressure is meant to be? Obviously that's a manual. Every car has its own manual. What do you fill up the tyre air with and stuff? That's a pressure gauge or something like that. Then how do you know if the horn works? And obviously that's a show me question, so you just have to literally press the horn. So I had 3 of those questions. I did panic, because at that time of moment I was like, oh my god, I didn't even know what you fill up the tyre with. I did, but it was literally out of my head. But the guy was like, don't worry, just explain to me and stuff. So you really nicely told me and stuff. And yeah, so we did those 3 questions. Then obviously in the whole, I think my test was roughly 40 minutes, I would say. So in the whole 40 minutes, you've got 10-minute independent driving, and you had 1 reverse parking, and you could have done an emergency stop. If you don't know what an emergency stop is, and you still haven't learnt it and your test is soon, make sure you actually learn it, because it's a 50-50 chance it could come up, but apparently this is what I've been told by my instructor. They don't quite do a lot of it because it obviously, when it's an emergency stop, so you suddenly stop, so it could hurt like the instructors or yourselves neck at the time. You know, that's why they don't do it loads of times. I didn't have to do that in my actual test, so that was fine. Reversing wise, I had to do the reversing in a road. I think it was called a 3-point turn. That was probably like, thank you God for that. Like, that was probably so good for me. The only two that I really did struggle with is parallel parking and reversing around a corner. Like, I hated those. Reversing into a parking bay, that is like the easiest one. Literally, you get to a line, then you just turn your wheel all the way, and then you just straighten up. That's like as simple as it can get. But with parallel and reversing a corner, they've got quite a lot of like steps to it, and it's just very confusing. But turning in the road, I think that's what it's called, turning the road, that was, I would say, pretty simple. As long as you're just looking everywhere, make sure you look in your mirrors, back window and stuff, you'll be fine. So when he told me to do it and when I did it, I was fairly confident with it. I don't think I did do anything wrong. The guy told me to do independent driving, and he didn't like show me anything. He was just like, follow the signs. Basically, that was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. As long as you can read signs, which everyone can pretty much do, and you know what indicators and when to turn them on, then you'll be fine. And what lane to go in, you'll be absolutely fine. There was maybe one lane, roundabout, where you had to, say if you were going straight, you had to go in the second lane. So that was the only one thing where I luckily had been before and I knew what I was doing. But make sure so you read the signs on the floor, because those can really like tell you what you're doing. When we arrive back at the test centre, they tell you to like just park there. Where the test centre was, it was like within the gym as well, so it was like two in one, if that makes sense. So luckily for me, it was very quiet. So the guy was just like parked literally by the door, and there was like no like cars in front of me. So I literally just went straight forward. Luckily, otherwise I didn't have to do like any reversing or anything. But either way, they wouldn't have, I don't think, marked you down on that, because it's like the end of the test, and they only mark you on the first thing they told you to do. But yeah, that was very good. And then as soon as you finish, stop the car, they're just like, give me 2 seconds, fill out loads of stuff, and then they're like, you've passed, or you finished. And he was like, congratulations, you've passed. I was like, are you sure? But yeah, I also had a man who came in with me. There was only apparently that test centre only 2 guys anyway. It was okay. I mean, throughout the whole thing, and this is probably the worst thing you can do, I kept telling myself, I have failed. Do not do that. As much as I can express, that is probably the worst thing you can do. But no one can help it. Do you know what I mean? Also, another thing, throughout the whole actual test, say if you know you're doing something wrong, or say if you have done something wrong and you didn't know, they will like put their head down and write something. So you like, not to put you off or anything, and it could be for all you know a minor. Like, you know, you've either done a minor or you've done a thing. Anyway, so that did worry me so much. Like, in the first 5 minutes, he started writing stuff down. I was like, oh God, because I started rolling back down a hill when he told me to stop, and he told me to go. I like started rolling back the hill. Obviously, I knew what to do. Foot on handbrake, foot on brake, and then handbrake up and stuff. But it was the scariest thing in my life. I was like, why are we rolling back? Anyway, I tried again. I was like, obviously they know you're nervous. This is what my dad said to me. They know you're nervous. Obviously, it's normal to be nervous. And what I told myself, and kind of really showed it as well, because I couldn't really help it anyway. But I was like, okay, sorry about that. And also, if you do say sorry, I'm sure they won't get really like annoyed at you. But you know, it's just your natural way to like react and stuff. But I said sorry. I was like, okay, so. And I was like, I just had a massive breather, and it was quite obvious that I was like, you know, very stressed out. I was like, whew. And then I looked around, put a little bit more gas on, and then I went up the hill smoothly. Anyway, that was fine. I got a minor on that for control, and I was like, oh God, if there was a car behind me, I think I would have failed. So luckily, I was fine for then. And also another thing, some moments, because they tell you to quite like stop and go quite a lot. to see obviously how you are and indicating wise and everything. 1 or 2 times I either was going off and my indicator was on the left, so that was, don't know whether he got me on a minor or that or not, I'm not sure. But like sometimes I didn't even indicate, like, you know, I was very stressed. I was like, and it's like, you know, everyone does it. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But yeah, that was very stressful. Also, throughout the whole thing, and I know it's extremely hard, I did it myself, but try to keep as positive as you can. Say if you have done something, don't think about it, move on to the next thing and try make everything else as best as you can. Like, forget about the bad things if you have done anything, like, affect you, because if you keep worrying about that, then you could do more bad things, like, and make it worse for yourself. So try and forget on the little things that you think you might have failed or got even a minor on. That's fine, do not worry. But yeah, I got 4 minors, so 2 of them I'm pretty sure I know what they were. One when I was rolling literally back down a hill, that was for control, I think, and another one because I was going 34 in a 30. I'm so annoyed at myself for that. But you know when you've just got your foot on the gas and you're like, just it's gonna be fine, and then you look and you're like, oh my god, I'm going 34, and I thought you were going like 29 or something, you know? So be careful of your speed, because that is one little thing that you can like get yourself a minor on, and that is such like a little thing. But obviously, luckily I didn't fail for that. It is a test. At the end of the day, you fail, you fail. Everyone fails. Just make sure you learn from those mistakes and just proceed. Like, even now that I have passed, I'm still so like scared, and especially parking wise. I don't even know how I'm ever going to park in like a busy place, like, because we literally live next to Lidl's and we always take the car there. Don't know why, probably because we do so much shopping. But it is always so busy in there, and I don't really ever think I'm going to be like able to park in there. I could have easily, I think, got 2 minors, but obviously on the 2 I was nervous, and that's fine, and I'm not necessarily like annoyed at myself for that. At the time I was, but I was so chuffed and so shocked. And as soon as I came home, I like, obviously to my dad I was like, I failed, as a joke, like for a couple seconds, and I was like, no, I passed, and then he was running on the treadmill, bless him. He was just like trying to come off it when I was like running on it, and came off, gave me a massive hug. I was like, literally, as soon as I gave him a hug, bearing in mind he was all sweaty and disgusting, but at the time I was like, I need a hug. I've been through a lot. I literally I flooded into tears. I was so like, you know, happy that I've passed, and it's such a massive relief because it's such a little thing. It's literally 40 minutes, and it can affect on your, I'm going to say your whole life, because, you know, it really does, because driving you're going to need to do pretty much your whole life, whether you get the train or bus or whatever, you're going to need to do driving at some point. So yeah, and my dad, I wouldn't necessarily say he was putting lots of pressure on me, but he was really, really wanting me to pass first time, just to get it over and done with. And obviously, if you didn't know, driving is insanely costly. It is so pricey, it is so insane. I think altogether I had 25 lessons. I think I roughly paid 550, I want to say. Anyway, if you have passed, well done. If you haven't, do not worry at all. Like, think of it as positively as you can. Learn from your mistakes, but don't worry about them too much. You will get there in the end. It's fine. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you do have your theory test, I do have a theory test, tips and advice and stuff, so go check that video out. If you do have your driving test soon, or you failed and you've got it again, good luck, you'll be fine. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure if you do actually pass, treat yourself. Get Chinese, get some cookie dough ice cream like I did. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Good luck to everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful day.